Alaskan Bush People was one of the most talked about reality shows of its time. However, the show suddenly went quiet. No new episodes, no clear answers. And slowly, the truth began to surface. Some cast members had faced serious personal troubles. A few had run into legal issues. Others passed away. So who are these cast members? Join us as we reveal the Alaskan Bush People cast members who are dead or in jail in 2025. Billy Brown. Billy Brown was the head of the Brown family on Alaskan Bush People. He was born on December 3, 1952, in Fort Worth, Texas. Unlike his children, Billy grew up in a comfortable home in a nice suburb. But his life changed when he was just 16 years old. That year, a terrible tragedy happened. His father, mother, and sister died in a plane crash. Losing his family at such a young age left him alone and heartbroken. But what Billy did next was what eventually changed his life. During this painful time, Billy was also forced to become legally free from his family. This meant he gave up his rights to their fortune and name. After that, he wandered from place to place across the country. He couldn't find any stable work or life, so he ended up becoming a commercial fisherman in the North Pacific. Soon after, Billy met Amy, who later became his wife. Together, they had 7 children: Matt, Bam Bam, Bear, Gabe, Noah, Snowbird, and Rain. Billy wanted his family to live differently from how he grew up. He took them deep into the Alaskan bush to build a life off the grid. They hunted, fished, and built their own shelters. He believed living away from modern life made them stronger. Billy was the main star of Alaskan Bush People. The show started in 2014 on Discovery Channel and ran for 12 seasons while he was alive. He was often called the powerhouse of the show because of his strong personality. He taught his kids survival skills, how to live off the land, and how to stand up for each other. Fans admired him for choosing a rough but honest life, but his health started failing. In 2019, he had severe breathing problems. At first, everyone thought his lungs were the problem, but doctors later found out it was his heart. His heart was getting weaker. Doctors told him many times to leave the high mountains because the altitude made his condition worse. But Billy refused. He always said he would rather die on the land he loved than live somewhere he hated. On February 7, 2021, Billy had a sudden seizure and died at the age of 68. His son Bear Brown announced his death on Instagram. He wrote that the family was heartbroken. He described Billy as their best friend, a loving father, grandfather, and husband who lived life on his own terms. Bear said his father taught them to live off the land and to follow their dreams, no matter what. After Billy's death, his wife Amy and their children promised to keep his dream alive. In Season 13, they spoke about his life and the lessons he taught them. Bam Bam said their father always told them that one day they would have to carry on without him. But he admitted they were not ready for him to go so soon. The family shared how hard it was to continue without him, but they believed that was what he would have wanted. Billy Brown's death was a huge blow to fans of Alaskan Bush People. Many viewers felt like they had lost someone close to them because they watched him build his life and teach his family for so many years. He was a man who chose a simple, rough life away from modern comforts and remained true to it until his final breath. Even in death, Billy Brown left behind a strong legacy. But what many don't know is Billy Brown isn't the only cast member who's passed away. Stick around, because there's more to this story. Amber Branson. Amber Branson was a relative of the Brown family from Alaskan Bush People. Her full name was Amber Nicole Branson. She was born on February 8, 1976, in Wichita Falls, Texas. She was the daughter of Larry Renee Branson and Judy Diane. People who knew Amber described her as kind and generous, with a big heart. She often brought calmness wherever she went. Amber appeared in some early episodes of Alaskan Bush People. Although she was not one of the main stars like Billy, Amy, or their children, her connection to the Brown family brought her into the show. She was Billy Brown's niece, which made her part of their extended family story. She didn't live with the Browns in Alaska, but viewers got to know her through family mentions and background stories shared on the show. In her personal life, Amber got married to Sean Austin. Together, they had 2 sons named Braden Austin and Jace Austin. However, their marriage did not last. Amber and Sean separated, and they never reconciled before her death. After her marriage ended, Amber struggled with her mental health. She faced depression and emotional pain. During this time, she turned to substance use to help her cope. For some years, it seemed like Amber was getting better. She tried to fight her addiction, and people around her hoped she would win that battle. But sadly, she relapsed. Things became worse when her mental health struggles deepened again. On April 29, 2020, a tragic incident happened that ended her life. That day, local police in Hudson Oaks, Texas, got a call to check on a woman lying face down in her front yard. When the police arrived, they found Amber with burns covering 90% of her body. She was still alive, but in severe pain. Reports said she told police her injuries were self-inflicted. When asked why she did it, she said it was a faith test. Her uncle, Les Branson, said she believed she was proving something through that act, but no one fully understood her words. Amber had started a fire at her home. Investigators later found an empty can of gasoline tossed over a neighbor's fence. Her boyfriend, who lived with her, found the can after the fire. Police also asked her what she used to start the fire, and she reportedly said she used insect repellent. After the incident, she was rushed to a hospital in Dallas and taken straight to the burn center. Doctors examined her and told the family that her injuries were too severe to survive. The next day, on April 30th, her family made the hard decision to take her off life support. Amber died early on May 1st, 2020. She was only 44 years old. Her death left her family in shock. Many could not understand how her life ended in such a painful way. Her uncle Les said that Amber was deeply loved by everyone who knew her. She was kind, generous, and calm. But she also suffered from a painful mental illness that she could not overcome in the end. After her death, the Brown family and the Alaskan Bush People cast felt her loss deeply. Amy Brown, her aunt, was heartbroken. She always shared a close bond with Amber, and her death left a hole in her life. Even though Amber was not a regular cast member, her connection to the family made viewers feel her death too. Bear Brown. Bear Brown, whose real name is Solomon Isaiah Freedom Brown, is one of the sons of Billy and Amy Brown from Alaskan Bush People. He was born on June 10, 1987. Bear is the third son in the family and the first to be raised fully in Alaska. He grew up in the deep wilderness with his siblings, learning how to hunt, fish, build shelters, and survive harsh winters. At first, many people thought Bear would not enjoy living in the Alaskan bush because of its tough conditions. But he quickly fell in love with it. He became known for his wild, energetic, and fearless nature. He often called himself the King of Extreme because of how he enjoyed extreme activities. On the show, viewers saw him climbing tall trees, running on all fours, and even howling at the moon like a wolf. His fearless attitude brought excitement to Alaskan Bush People and made him stand out among his brothers. Bear Brown never attended formal school. Like his siblings, he was homeschooled by his parents using books and life lessons from the bush. He loved comic books and movies, and he always dreamed of being a superhero or a movie star someday. In 2014, when Alaskan Bush People began airing on Discovery Channel, Bear quickly became one of the main attractions. Fans loved his energy, survival skills, and passion for nature and animals. In 2018, Bear met Raven Adams for the first time. It happened at his brother Noah's wedding. Raven was helping her mother with wedding photography. Bear later said it was love at first sight because she was beautiful and calm, which balanced his wild side. They began dating and eventually got engaged. Together they had a son and started living near the family's ranch. However, their relationship faced many problems. In March 2022, Bear was arrested for alleged domestic violence against Raven. On March 11th, police arrested him near his home and took him to Okanagan County Jail. The official charge was fourth-degree assault with domestic violence. He spent the weekend in jail before he was released without bond. Reports showed that Bear did not have alcohol or drugs in his system at the time of his arrest. Also, there was no evidence that he strangled or choked Raven, but the situation was serious enough that it led to legal action. In April 2022, Bear accepted a plea deal. This meant he did not go to trial or serve a full jail term. Instead, he agreed to certain legal conditions to settle the matter outside court. Since the incident, Bear has tried to change his life for the better. He has been focusing on being a responsible father to his son. After his release, he and Raven worked on their relationship and continued to raise their son together. They have been keeping a low profile since then, staying away from public attention while the family waits for the next season of Alaskan Bush People to begin. On the show, Bear was always known for his wild energy, but his arrest showed fans a different side of his life. Many were shocked because he always looked happy and positive on screen. Bear's story is one of ups and downs. From living freely in the Alaskan bush to facing legal issues, his life has changed greatly over the years. But he continues to live with his family, caring for his son and spending time in nature, which he loves so much. But Bear Brown isn't the only one who has served time. Up next is another cast member still facing legal troubles to this day. Rain Brown. Rain Brown, whose full name is Catherine Raindrop Brown, is the youngest child of Billy and Amy Brown from Alaskan Bush People. She was born in Hoona, Alaska. Fans first saw her as a little girl on the show, playing with toys and helping to care for animals around their mountain home. Growing up, Rain always felt a bit different from her siblings. While they fully enjoyed the bush life, she often felt disturbed by the harshness of it, but went along because of her parents. Rain was known on the show for her bright personality and unique sense of style. Unlike her brothers, she cared deeply about fashion. She loved matching her clothes and keeping herself tidy. Rain also enjoyed reading, especially the Nancy Drew mystery books. As she grew up on the show, viewers watched her transform from a shy girl into a confident young woman with her own opinions and dreams. After Alaskan Bush People stopped filming, Rain remained in the public eye. In January 2023, she joined TikTok but was banned briefly because the platform thought her account was fake. She managed to recover her account after proving her identity. Later, fans noticed a ring in her photos and speculated that she was engaged or married, though she kept her personal life private at that time. In 2024, Rain revealed she was in a relationship with Josiah Lorton. They met while working at the same restaurant, where Rain was a waitress and Josiah was the head chef. She often posted loving messages about him online, calling him her hero and protector. By January 2025, they got married. Rain felt lucky to have found love so early and called Josiah her forever. However, in mid-2025, Rain and Josiah faced serious legal trouble. They were arrested for allegedly stealing from Josiah's uncle, Jason Aist, in Wakanda, Washington. According to court documents, Jason reported that Rain and Josiah stole items from his rental home. The stolen items allegedly included $75,000 in cash, $85,000 worth of gold, $8,000 worth of wine and champagne, and several guns, including a pistol worth $2,500. another pistol worth $450, and a revolver worth $650. There was also a bong worth $250 among the missing items. Jason claimed that Josiah was the only person who knew the location of his valuable belongings because Josiah had helped him hide them during his divorce troubles. Jason also said a neighbor had video footage of Josiah and Rain on his property. Police reports stated that an officer saw Josiah with guns matching those stolen shortly after the burglary. Rain and Josiah were also seen with wine bottles, similar to the ones taken from Jason's home. As a result, Rain and Josiah were both arrested and charged with first-degree burglary and first-degree malicious mischief. Rain was additionally charged with second-degree criminal trespass. They were booked into Okanogan County Jail in Washington and spent about 3 days in custody before being released without bail. In court, Rain and Josiah pleaded not guilty to all charges, and their case is still ongoing with another court date set for later in the year. After her release, Rain made a cryptic post on Instagram, thanking her fans for their support and hinting at how difficult the situation was. She did not directly talk about the charges, but fans believe her message was related to the arrest. Rain Brown's arrest shocked viewers because she was always seen as the innocent, youngest child on Alaskan Bush People. Many fans are waiting to see how the court case ends. Joshua Brown. Joshua Brown, known by fans as Bam Bam, is the second oldest son of Billy and Amy Brown from Alaskan Bush People. He was born on September 18, 1984. Growing up in the Alaskan wilderness with his siblings, Joshua developed strong survival skills. He got his nickname Bam Bam because, as a child, he often ran into walls like the cartoon character from the Flintstones. Unlike some of his siblings, Joshua always showed great interest in technology and education. Even as a young boy, he loved learning how things worked. On the show, which began in 2014, he played an important role. Viewers saw him using his skills to fix equipment, build shelters, and create solutions for the family's survival problems. His calm nature, quick thinking, and understanding of machinery made him stand out among his brothers and sisters. Joshua often took the lead when it came to planning and building projects around their homestead. Whether it was making tools, setting up hunting strategies, or handling electronics, he was always reliable. Fans loved him for being quiet, thoughtful, and hardworking. His problem-solving skills helped the family in many tough situations in the Alaskan bush. In his personal life, Joshua met Allison Kagan, a former producer of Alaskan Bush People. They started dating in November 2016 after being friends for a while. Their relationship led Joshua to spend more time away from the show. He chose to focus on his personal life, building his relationship with Allison, and working on projects he cared about. Though his appearances on the show became fewer, he remained active on social media, sharing updates about his life, his photography, and his work. However, Joshua's life was not without trouble. In 2014, the Brown family faced legal issues. Billy, Amy, and 4 of their children, including Joshua, were charged with fraud and theft. The state of Alaska accused them of lying about living there between 2011 and 2013 so they could collect money from the Alaska Permanent Fund. This fund gives money each year to people who truly live in Alaska, and the family claimed they did, even though they were often out of the state filming or traveling. To resolve the charges, the family agreed to a plea deal. Joshua and his father Billy pleaded guilty to 1 misdemeanor count of second-degree unsworn falsification. As part of their sentence, they were both given 30 days in jail. However, they did not serve these days in a traditional jail facility. Instead, their sentence was converted into house arrest with electronic monitoring, allowing them to complete their time without going behind bars. Along with this, Billy had to pay back $7,956 in wrongly received dividends and pay a $10,000 fine. Joshua was ordered to pay back $1,174 and a $2,000 fine. Both father and son were also given 40 hours of community service and were permanently banned from applying for the Alaska Permanent Fund dividend again. This legal issue was a difficult time for Joshua, but he managed to get through it with his family's support. Since then, Joshua has focused on his personal goals. He has developed a passion for photography and often shares his photos on social media. Recently, Joshua has been interested in renewable energy and electronics, working on small projects to improve his skills in these areas. Although details about his business ventures remain private, it is clear that his love for technology continues to shape his future. But Joshua wasn't the only Brown to face legal trouble. Another family member's case would raise even more eyebrows. Stick around. Matt Brown. Matt Brown is the oldest son of Billy and Amy Brown from Alaskan Bush People. He was born on September 7, 1982. Growing up in the Alaskan bush, Matt learned survival skills from a young age alongside his siblings. He was often seen on the show helping his family build shelters, chop wood, and hunt for food. Matt always had a playful and curious side. He enjoyed exploring, creating things, and finding new ways to solve problems in their rough environment. When Alaskan Bush People started airing in 2014, viewers saw Matt as a central figure. His energy and sense of humor added life to the show. He often came up with creative ideas for the family's survival, even if some of them did not work out as planned. Fans loved him for his positive attitude and his ability to keep everyone smiling despite the harsh conditions they faced in Alaska. Matt was known for being hardworking, but also struggled with personal issues behind the scenes. In 2013, before the show became famous, Matt was arrested for driving under the influence. Police found him driving while impaired, which is a serious offense. In February 2014, he was sentenced to 3 days in jail and 18 months of probation for the DUI charge. This was a hard lesson for Matt, and he had to follow strict rules during his probation period to avoid further legal trouble. Despite this setback, Matt continued to appear on Alaskan Bush People with his family. However, his life took another difficult turn in 2018, when he was accused of sexual assault. 2 women came forward with allegations against him. One claimed that Matt assaulted her while she was sleeping after a party, and the other said he acted inappropriately towards her during another gathering. The women were friends and had worked together before. They both spoke to the media about their experiences, saying they felt hurt and betrayed. Matt denied the allegations, and no charges were filed against him by the authorities. However, the accusations affected his image and relationship with his family. Around the same time, Matt was also struggling with alcohol addiction. His drinking had become a serious problem that was affecting his health, work, and family ties. In 2016, Matt checked himself into rehab for the first time to deal with his addiction. After leaving rehab, he returned to Alaska and tried to continue his life on the show. But his struggles continued, and in 2018, he went back to rehab for a longer program to focus fully on his recovery. Due to this, his appearances on Alaskan Bush People stopped, and fans noticed his absence in later seasons. Since then, Matt has been living away from the rest of the Brown family. He moved to California, where he focused on staying sober and building his life again. He often shares updates with his fans on social media, talking about his journey to overcome addiction. He posts videos on Instagram and YouTube where he talks about nature, personal growth, and staying positive despite hardships. Were you a fan of Alaskan Bush People? What did you love most about the characters? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it.